From the sounds of things, it does seem like the Vikings and Kevin O'Connell and Kwesi Adofo-Mensah are going to roll with Kirk Cousins in 2022. But of course, that's exactly what they'd say if they were planning on trading him. We have no intention of trading Percy Harvin at this time. Blah 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 blah. So, if you take the Kirk Cousins trade off the table, and understand, even the most zealous Kirk haters, they're like, he does give you the best chance to win games in 2022. Kevin O'Connell is not down for a rebuild. He wants to come out of the gates swinging. He saw that this team last year, the best 8-9 team in NFL history, so many close games were given away by bad management. Again, an army of wolves led by a donkey is still an army of donkeys. Something like that. Parable that I butchered. Don't care. But Kevin O'Connell, he understands. Like, he played the Vikings. Like, he sees that how much talent that they have. The whole was less than the sum of its parts, and he's going to bring all the parts together, baby. That's right. So options with Kirk Cousins, because the extension with Kirk, the way that it was structured, it was not good. Like, it was a ticking time bomb. It was like those mortgages with balloon payments. Now we have a $45 million cap hit this season, which is unwieldy. It's untenable. It's not going to happen, right? So we're going to go over the options that the Vikings have with Kirk Cousins, and they're probably not going to trade him. Because absent of getting, a couple first round picks, like, what are you going to do? And no, you're in all likelihood, you're not going to land Russell Wilson. You're probably not going to land Aaron Rodgers either. The Packers never do business with you. So rolling with Kirk this year. And you're not going to cut him, because then that's just $45 million dead, because his $35 million base salary is fully guaranteed. And he's not going to take a pay cut, because, I don't know, everything that he's ever done in his professional career does not say that he's going to do that. So taking away all those pie in the sky options, what is the best of all the bad options? Like, what is the least bad? What is the most good? Even though the title of the video was, what's the perfect solution? Close enough. So the question is, restructure or add void years. Now, the difference between a pay cut and restructure is, a pay cut is you are literally taking less money. Restructure is, it just changes when the player gets the money. And a lot of the contracts have restructures written in, where the team doesn't even have to negotiate with the player or agent, because the player gets the same amount of guaranteed money. It just changes up when they get the money. And usually they get the money right away. So, I mean, they're hunky-dory, the time value of money. How would you like to get basically your entire base salary for that season, instead of 18 weeks of installments on Tuesdays, direct deposit, baby? Getting it right away, usually in the spring. It's like, okay, we'll take that. And the typical way that contracts are restructured is they take the base salary, turn it into a roster bonus, and then they prorate that cap hit over a number of years. Now, with 1 year left on his contract, Kirk Cousins can't technically do that unless you add void years to the deal. And Rob Brzezinski, first time he ever used that last year, got experience when they took the pay cut. Again, Anthony Barr was a pay cut, but they added void years to spread out the cap hit. So that's why Anthony Barr is going to be on the books. What is he? Yeah, $9.89 million on this year's cap, even though he's not under contract technically. So it is what it is. You are essentially kicking the can to a degree, but it's not all bad. Like, you're not mortgaging the future unless you really get deep into it like the Saints did. That's whatever. But Brzezinski does have experience with this, because he did it with Anthony Barr's deal. He did it with Diesel Dalvin Thompson's free agent deal. And to a degree, he did it with Sheldon Richardson's deal. Now, the only downside is, say Kirk Cousins plays well. Well, let's get into it first. So this is the over the cap salary cap calculator, and they have this fun new feature. So extend or renegotiate. Now, extension could be a little bit dicey, so let's get into the void years first. And now, also, their void years thing doesn't really work, because you can't really input numbers. So we're going to go here. So it's going to look like an extension technically, but we're going to make them void years. So 0 there, 0 there. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take $30 million of Kirk Cousins' base salary this year and turn it into a roster bonus, which over 3 years, since we added 2 void years, is going to spread out the cap. It's $10 million this year and $10 million each of the subsequent years as well. So that would take his base salary down to $5 million. Actually, we're good here. Yeah, we're good to go there. Actually, let's reset. All right, so $35 million. This is where we're at right now, without the void years added, as cap at 45, guaranteed salary $35 million, base salary $35. So that's where we start. Now we're going to take $30 million, take his base salary down to 5, and now we're just going to plug and play the cap hits here, since their void year function isn't really working. And also, you can't type in the prorated bonus, but life isn't perfect sometimes. So you reduce his cap number from $45 million down to 25, saving $20 million in cap space, and then you do kick the can down the road, $10 million to 2023, $10 million in 2022. Now, the only downside of this, if it is Kirk plays well enough to deserve an extension, where say the Vikings go on a nice playoff run, maybe a Super Bowl, maybe they win the Super Bowl, and then Kirk's like, come on, baby. So that's big time leverage as free agent, whatever. And the Vikings theoretically could franchise tag him, but it would be, since he's already been tagged twice by Washington, it would be 144% raise from his last franchise tag, which was $23.943 million 2017 Washington. So he would be guaranteed a $34.478 million base salary. Now, so tacking that on to the $10 million that's already on the books, now you're basically in the same spot that you were right now, right? The best option is that the void years don't preclude you from extending him. And if Kirk Cousins, if they would have extended Kirk this offseason, or if they do extend him this offseason, you likely would have turned his base salary this year into a bonus anyway and spread it out. So basically you're just backtracking and then just doing the same thing that you would have done anyway. So that's really not too much of a drawback. And say Kirk Cousins, like, they move on from Kirk this offseason. All right, they free up some cap space, free up $20 million cap space, but they still have $10 million next year, $10 million in 2024, and then they bring in Kellen Mond, or they bring in rookie quarterback TBD, rookie this year or next year, whatever. It's not as bad as it seems, because the salary cap, since we're hopefully post-COVID, should rise normally in 2023, 2024. So that frees up space there. And then also you'd have your starting quarterback on his rookie deal, unless he gets some sort of value bridge quarterback to be a backup. It's whatever there. But in terms of aggregate spending on the quarterback position, it would still be a lot less than this year with Kirk Cousins. So it's certainly doable. I think this is the best of the bad options. And dare I say perfect? Because you get your cake and you eat it too. You maintain contract flexibility with Kirk Cousins. Kirk, again, since adding void years and the restructure, he gets the exact same amount of money that he was guaranteed this year, $35 million. So that's no muss, no fuss there. Might not even have to negotiate with Kirk and his agent on this one if Rob Brzezinski could pull this off. And the Vikings still get Kirk for 2022 and keep their options open. Kirk, again, does give the Vikings the best chance to win games this year outside of getting Russell Wilson, which is probably not going to happen. And the Vikings, so you see right now, over the cap estimates that they have about $16 million over the cap, so we'll submit that, and then that goes down to 4. And then you could go through all of these players, looking at Daniil and Thielen and Kendricks and Harrison and Dalvin and Michael Pierce. There could be some cuts, there could be some renegotiations, there could be some pay cuts all up in there, but the Vikings, I mean, there's a reason why the Vikings are always in good cap shape. And yes, there is a way to get it done where you keep Kirk, you keep Daniil, you keep Thielen, you keep Harrison, you keep the core together, and you're still able to be players in free agency, and you're not mortgaging the future. Like there's a reason why a guy like Rob Brzezinski, capologist, is so sought after and so valued, because of this, because of the books. And as we go into the offseason, you have to have a lot of options open, but as of right meow, I think that the best option is adding a couple void years, kicking out the can, spreading out that cap hit, and just going for it in 2022. Going after that brass ring. Let's go, man. But your thoughts are thoughts. The perfect solution to the Kirk Cousins contract conundrum. Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.